Hi, Matt with eTrailer, and today we're going to be talking about our CURT Trailer Hitch on our 2023 Cadillac XT5. This is going to be a Class 3 hitch, and it's going to have a 2-inch receiver. It's going to be great if you have any equipment that you want to put on the back of this, whether it be bike racks, cargo carriers, or a ball mount for a trailer. Now this doesn't come with a hitch pin, but you can find one of those on our website. It'll look like this when it's installed with its safety clip. And we're also going to have the ability to use a clevis hook for if you want to put on any safety chains when you have a trailer on. And if you don't want to use a clevis hook, you can also use S-hooks on here too. The weight capacity of this is going to be up to 5,000 pounds for pulling and 750 for your tongue weight. Now the caveat off of that though, I'd recommend checking with your owner's manual to make sure that you can pull that much weight. Now I'm going to give you a few measurements. We're going to go from the ground to the top of our hitch receiver, and that's going to be a little bit over 18 1/4. So what that's important for is figuring out what your ground clearance is going to be for any items that you have on the back. And going from the center of our hitch pin to the back of our bumper is going to be 6 inches. And that's going to be important to let you know where your accessories are going to sit on your hitch. Because if you have any folding accessories, if they're too short or too long, it's going to affect how it interacts with your back bumper. Here's this panel that we took off for the install, but when you're not using this hitch, you can put this panel back on just for a cleaner look. Overall, I think this is going to be a really good fit for the Cadillac we have today. It's going to sit pretty recessed and have a pretty clean look even when you do have something on the back of here. And when you're not using it, you still have the ability to put that panel back on. As for the installation, it's pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. I actually didn't have to use a lift to install this, so if you want to watch and see how I did it, just stay tuned and we'll show you how we did it. The first step of our installation is going to be removing this panel at the bottom. We're going to use a T10 Torx, and we're just going to remove 2 bolts. Once you get it loosened up, you can just take it off by hand. Make sure you do the same thing for both of them on both sides. And make sure you set this aside so you don't lose it. And now we're just going to pull this out and set it aside for the time being. And for this next part, we're going to need 3 things. We're going to need that spacer, that carriage bolt, and some fish wire. And we're going to have 3 attachments on each side. So let me show you where those are going to be. So the 3 holes we're going to be using, we're going to be this one furthest back at first, and then these 2 over here as well. We're going to be using this larger hole to get our bolts on. So let me show you how to do it. So we're going to start by threading in the coiled side of your fishing wire through, and we want to push this through until it comes out that large hole near the front. And when you kind of have it, just make sure you pull it through. And now we can put on our spacer and bolt. I'm going to feed that spacer through that square hole and push it up. And then I'm going to push it into this frame, and then I can start with my bolt now. I'm just going to thread this bolt into the spring area until it's held in place. And once this is on, I'm going to grab from the other side and pull this all through. Just like that. And you just repeat that same process for these 2 down here. And here's our hitch. And what we're going to do next is we're going to be lining up these 3 holes on each side with those wires we just put on there. And you're going to want to put this underneath here, lining the frame of our hitch with these holes and the bolts coming through. Make sure you grab a friend too, because this is going to make it a lot easier if they're holding one side while you have the other side. And when all these bolts are through with the wires still attached, you can pull on that wire and detach it real quick. Just like so. And with that fish wire off, we can put this nut on to hold it in place. And we just want to get this started so it can help hold this hitch in place. And then once it's being held on, then you can repeat that same process on the other ones. Now we're going to grab our 11/16 socket wrench and tighten these up some. Just repeating that process for each one. Now we're going to come back and torque them all down, and you can find those settings in your instructions. And once you've torqued all those bolts down, you can start loading up any accessories you have on it. But if you liked everything you saw today, that's just a look at the install and some of the features of our CURT hitch on our 2023 Cadillac XT5.